Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we will be continuing our coverage of Golden Sun: The Lost Age, playing until the scenes following our completion of the Jupiter Lighthouse. But before we get started, how was everyone's week?
It was my birthday, so I took a few days off work. I played a lot of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I played back when it came out, as we talked about before. But I've been playing so much of the Swish 2 edition. I've been playing so much of that. I subdued all the divine beasts, and now I'm doing the DLC.
Fun.
It's a good game.
It's a very good game. Let's see, what's been going on my end lately? Well, literally right before recording, I finished playing through Of the Devil Episode 2 with my sister. That was great. God, I love it so much. Otherwise, we are now in the month of February. My birthday was 4 days ago. As of time of recording. Bernard's was yesterday. And fun thing about February that actually fits me very well, considering when my birthday is in many fandom circles, there is an event called Fem/February, where we try to do something about the fact that in the majority of fandom spaces, if you analyze the rate of Fem/ships, ships between two girl characters compared to M/F or M/M, it is woefully underperforming almost all the time. Even sometimes in stuff where most of the characters are women, or women are like almost all of the focus, sometimes still other stuff will still beat out Fem/ profoundly, which blows my brains against the wall with a shotgun, and I hate it. But so Fem/February is a way for us all to try to combat that a little bit, and also just have fun writing some sapphic ships. Writing fanfic, doing fan art, whatever you feel like doing, however, or even just helping out by commenting on stuff, improving engagement on sapphic fan content, stuff like that. I have two friends who've done this thing. One of them did it a couple of years ago. One of them is doing it right now. Shout out to you, Nema. You're wild for doing this. Where they're like, oh, in our fandom, I'm going to... every day of February, I will publish a new Fem/fic. And yeah, that's cool. Also, what are you doing? Not a thing I've ever attempted, or I think will ever attempt. I don't think I can manage that, especially not with the job now. Maybe back when I didn't have a job I could do it, but definitely not now. I'm also just not good at writing small stories. I'm not good at truncating myself. If anything, my work balloons more than it shrinks. So that just is a bad challenge for me. But accidentally, I had a couple ideas, and I got one already a little ahead of time, and then I've been able to... My creativity's been hitting again, where I've been able to write at a good pace recently. So far, I have been managing to publish a Fem/fic every other day of February. I don't know if I can manage that throughout the whole month, but I'm gonna try. To me, it's more manageable. It gives me a little bit of a leeway time between fics. Hopefully, and I have a lot of... my friends have given me some good ideas of easier, shorter things I can just kind of crash out without having to, do a ton of pre-planning or anything the way I usually do. I still decided to... so I should have told you about this. Without getting up deep into the Stormlight Cosmere weeds. The whole fan I'm doing this stuff for is Stormlight, is Cosmere. I did have the wild idea of taking one of my favorite rare pairs and being like, okay, but what if them in a Fire Emblem AU? What if I take all of the cast of Stormlight and be like, what if they were the cast of a Fire Emblem game? And I got really in the weeds in my brain about thinking about which characters would take what place in a Fire Emblem game, what classes they would be, how the mechanics work. It's actually very fun, and it's something I've obsessed over too much.
Yeah, it doesn't work though, because obviously Pegasus Knights would be the Windrunners, and as we all know, Windrunners are immune to arrows, so they can't be in a Fire Emblem game. It doesn't work.
See, you did it. Literally, one of the characters in my rare pair is Lynn, the most prominent woman Windrunner, and I did make her a Pegasus Knight. What have you been up to, Sam?
So, last week I had stopped in at Dollar Tree to get cleaning products because that's where you go for cleaning products. They're all really cheap and really just as good. And while I was in there, they had the energy drinks G Fuel, the ones that have bright, colorful pictures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Knuckles the Echidna and Mega Man on them. And so I, of course, bought them because I am who I am. And every day of the weekend, I was having one of those drinks per day. And then by Monday, I was out of them. And I, even with my Adderall, could not give a shit about work. I could not make it happen. I was like, why is today so rough? Well, I'm going to stop trying to work today and move to doing something else. So let me clean up around my house and throw these cans away. And while I'm doing that, I saw that a G Fuel has 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is double a Monster, double a Red Bull in the same amount. I normally will put a caffeine packet in my 40-ounce water bottle, and those have on average like 150 milligrams. So it's literally 5 times as concentrated caffeine I was drinking over the weekend. And that's why I was productive over the weekend and not on Monday. It's because I was high all weekend on caffeine and was crashing really hard on Monday. Don't drink G Fuel, or if you do, like, let that be the only caffeine you drink all day long.
We're never gonna get a sponsorship now.
Yeah. Don't drink G Fuel unless I tell you to, and then I give you a coupon code, in which case then go do it a lot.
Great save. You did it.
Yeah. Awesome. But the G Fuel packets, I know, aren't nearly as concentrated as the energy drinks. So, because I've gotten those before, and those are usually the ones you get sponsored by. So G Fuel, sponsor me with the powders, but I'm not going to tell anybody to drink those cans of soda. It was rough. But other than that, I have started playing with Tunar, which is tuner, but with an ARR on the end. It is not related to the R stack at all. They're just cute, I guess. And what it is you take your Jellyfin media and you create television shows that play 24/7 out of them. And it's been a lot of fun to like curate different TV shows or different TV channels. And so I'll have one that's like adult animation that has BoJack Horseman as well as like American Dad and stuff like that on it. But then I'll also have just like Magical Girl TV, where just every anime I have about magical girls just shuffled all together. And it's been a lot of fun to create those things because as we all know, I do not enjoy consuming media. I enjoy organizing media, and this is a new fun way to do that.
Since Sam just said it as though we would all know what this is, just so everyone knows, Jellyfin is hipster Plex.
Yes.
If you don't know what Plex is, don't worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, you can also use it with non-hipster Plex. I just am moving away from Plex because I don't remember if I've said it on the podcast or not.
It fucking sucks.
It fucking sucks. And lately, I have every episode of Power Rangers on my Plex because that's who I am.
You talked about this.
Yeah, and they keep showing me their version with ads, and it sucks, and I hate it. So I have moved on to the hipster version. But other than that, I played a lot of Golden Sun: The Lost Age because I was engaging with side content because it's good at this point of the game. So let's talk about the main content so that then I can talk about the side content. Our team, armed with the power to grind stone spires down to dust, heads out to the Western Sea to reach the final 2 lighthouses. And when they get to the Western Sea, they are greeted with another open world segment with no hints on where to go. No!
Hell yeah. Sickos, haha, yes, not JPEG.
But thankfully, there's approximately infinity fewer things that you can do this time. Like, you can't make it even inside of Magma Rock at all. You can't make it inside of Jupiter Lighthouse if you tried. Almost all of the other islands have like a single town with 2 NPCs and no dungeons, so it's not nearly as big of a chunk as last time. But just getting the second half of the map and there being no cutscene when that happens scared me for a bit.
You mentioned that the islands have very little stuff on them. They are, however, still continent-sized. So yes. It takes forever to fucking find anything if you're not following a guide. Eventually I was like, I don't have time for this, so I used a guide to figure out where to go.
I've been using a guide for 4 or 5 episodes.
I have the Prima guide, right? And normally those are chock full of maps and shit. And so I was looking for where the world map would be. Would it be at the very beginning before you start playing Golden Sun 1? Would it be at the end because they don't want to put any spoilers? Would it be at the point you get the boat because that's the first time that it matters? No, they just don't have one at all. And they don't give you any directions on how to get there. So I was lost a lot, and I would do things where it's like, it would say like northwest of such and such town, there's a gin you can get, and it's named blah, blah, blah. So I would run into a gin, see if it was that one's named, and then I knew I'd be close to try and find the thing. My commitment to using this.
It sounds like it's not a very good guide.
It's not, because the mini dungeon we're about to go to is also randomized each time, and they again give you a map and then say it's randomized underneath it. It's kind of bad, but it rules at the same time. So the few island towns you can get to all talk about how Shaman Village is a settlement in the middle of Hesperia continent, and it's surrounded by mountains, but if you can find the right river, you can find a cave that gets you through it. And there's a lot of fucking rivers on Hesperia continent. It's like the river continent. And sometimes the river will like aesthetically curve around a mountain, but it'll give the mountain collision. So even though you could, in the real world, use that river, because you're in video game world, you can't. And it pisses me off.
Okay, but also there is this one part where there's a river, one of those random rivers. It's like if you do the river and you get to its very end and you get out of the river to walk around a forest that you can only get through that river, there's a fucking gin that's in that one area. And it hurts me that they're putting shit like this in the game like this. Like, oh, you just gotta go down this river you would never want to go down for other reason, and then get out of your boat and walk around a little bit.
But eventually, you do find the right river, and you make it through the mountain, and you arrive at Shaman Village, where the NPCs are all super talkative. They all say, and that's it. So if you
luckily, you can read their minds.
Yes. So when you read their minds, you glean that they are forbidden to talk to outsiders unless Moapa, their leader, says that they can. So we got to go find Moapa. Moapa is more talkative than the rest of the town, and he says, "I don't like you, and my friend, he don't like you either." So then the game pops up with your menu saying that you're supposed to do something right then. And Felix remembers the literal first quest of the first game and returns the shaman rod to the people of Shaman Village, which I had completely forgotten that we even had. So
it's amazing how even with such a limited inventory, you can totally forget about having something, because I forgot about having this.
Absolutely. So Moapa recognizes that it's the rod of his ancestor, Hoabna, who received it from his friend Yagelos, who was from the nearby village of Contigo. Yagelos told Hoabna that one day the shaman rod would return to Shaman Village, and when that happens, the village should give the bearers of the shaman rod the hover jade. Kraden is like, "Oh, yeah, that's the whole reason we're here. Sure. Yep. That's us." And Moapa is like, "Well, tough shit. We would never give Yagelos' greatest treasure to some outsider, even if you did bring the shaman rod. We will only give it to someone from Contigo, unless... Have you ever heard of Colosso? Well, we don't have Colosso. We have Casolo, the Walmart brand Colosso. So
I think it's pretty fair to not want to give Kraden your treasure. I think
absolutely
Kraden is sketchy.
He's got bad vibes.
Treasure.
So if we can prove that we are worthy to receive the Hover Jade by beating Moapa and his gang at Casolo, he will give it to us. So we head out to Trial Road, and there's a huge mound of sand with a whirlwind rock in front of it, like from Air's rock earlier in the game. And they're like, well, if you're so cool and worthy, move this sand. Only Jupiter adepts from Contigo could solve this obvious puzzle. And Sheba's like, okay, and blows the sand away. Moapa's men are like, wow, she must really be from Contigo and be the hero of legend. Moapa is like, but she's a girl, and girls have cooties, and the hero of legend can't have cooties. Sheba's like, well, if you're scared that you'll get beat by a girl, then, I mean, we don't have to do Casolo. And he's like, no. The children yearn for Casolo, and we must do it. So we head into Trial Road.
No, continue. I'll bring it up in fucking moms.
Okay. So we head into Trial Road, where we have a knockoff Colosso race, where we have to solve puzzles to get from room to room. And if we're in first place, we have to drop one weapon or armor piece. But if we're in second place, we have to drop 2. So a total of 4 pieces if you're in first, and 8 pieces if you're in second. And then, of course, we have a fight at the end. That's a lot. That is a lot. But Moapa sucks real bad at this, and it's not hard, and the fight at the end is definitely not hard now that he is 8 pieces of armor weaker. So
I mean, I won first place in every step of the match, but I found the fight pretty hard still.
I know that
Moapa was good at fighting.
I know that I am incredibly overleveled, because when I got everyone back in the party at the end, I beat the game at level 27 last time, and I was level 38 when I got them, and the game's not over yet. So definitely overleveled. So that's probably why it wasn't hard for me.
Yeah, I don't remember what my level is exactly, but less than that.
So what I think was the reason why it was happening is when I was lost so bad last week, and I literally did everything twice because I would get to the end and then not have the right synergy and have to go and do something else. I stopped doing avoid, and I would just hold down A on turbo and hold down speed up to get through the fights faster, because it was easier to do that than to go while you're on your boat to go into the menu to then go to do avoid, because the avoid button is mapped to your world map on the boat. And because I was doing it that way, I think that's every time the whole reason I'm over leveled is just I did a shitload of fighting last week. After the fight, Moapa admits defeat, and he trades Sheba the Shaman Rod for the Hover Jade, and we return to the inn to rest. When we wake up, everyone will talk to us now, and they tell us that the people of Contigo have special powers that are different from the ones here in Shaman Village, and if we are truly the heroes of legend, we should go there, as the heroes are said to be given a great reward in Contigo. So we find our way to the town of Contigo on the continent of Ateca, where all the NPCs say that they will give the great heroes of legends wings for their sacred vessel, but they'll only do so when the Tower of Jupiter is in flames. So let's go do the Lighthouse. Finally. It's been the one thing we've been trying to do this entire game, and we step into it in the third to last dungeon.
The pacing of these lighthouses is hilarious.
So we head to Jupiter Lighthouse, and we make it to the summit easily. But the receptacle for the Jupiter star is blocked, so we have to go explore somewhere else in the dungeon to remove the block, which was a fun twist on the Lighthouse dungeon. After we eventually remove the blockage, we hear a scream, and that sounds a lot like Mia. We know this because Garrett yells Mia. He then yells oof, and then Mia yells no, and then Ivan yells Garrett, and then Isaac yells Mia. It's weird, and I don't like it.
Well, Isaac passed on the curse of protagonist over to Felix, so he could talk now for the first time in his life.
Did you see the one cutscene this week where they forgot that Felix isn't supposed to talk and Felix had lines?
Yeah, it freaked me out.
Yeah, I did.
It's weird. It's weird, and I don't like it. The wrong people are talking in this week. So the gang rushes over, and they see that Mia nearly fell off the tower. So Garrett dove after her, and then he did fall off the tower, and now he's barely hanging on with one hand. But before our new gang can help our old gang, Alex's new gang shows up. Isaac is like, wait, who are you? We haven't been in this game yet. Karst is like, we're Karst and Agashio, obviously, and you have a debt to pay. We're from the land of Prox. And he's like, never heard of it. She's like, to the north?
More like the land of pricks.
Not ringing a bell. Where the Mars clan is from? Who? God damn it, you killed my sister. He's like, oh yeah, that one. Sorry, I forgot about that. Karst is like, well, it doesn't matter. Soon we'll restore alchemy, and the land of Prox will recover its lost power, and we will rule over all of the people of Wayard. Ivan is like, well, that doesn't sound nice, so I guess we'll stop you too. You must be here helping Felix. And Karst is like, we have no idea what Felix is up to, actually. We just need him to light this lighthouse. And Ivan is like, oh, so you are working with him. Well, we're here to stop him, so we'll stop you. Garrett is like, don't worry, guys. Just keep talking about exposition. I can hang here all day. It's fine. So Ivan and Isaac get ready for a 2-on-2 battle, but bad guys cheat. So they turn around to Alex, who isn't there. And he hasn't been there this whole time. Where the fuck is Alex? Oh, well, we're still gonna whoop ya. So they fight. Felix and gang are finally tired of watching their friends get their asses handed to them, so they run through the tower to get over to them, and along the way, they run into Alex. Alex is like, wow, you're weak. You can't just leave your loved ones to die like I can, so go hurry up and be heroes or whatever, and he heals us to full so that we can go fight his friends.
Did you read his mind?
I did. He says he's also weak because he was scared for Mia, which is cute.
Yes.
He's a weird guy. He's just a little freak.
He's a really weird guy.
Alex is a weird guy. Parentheses affectionate and parentheses derogatory. Yes. He is like that. Like I genuinely, he's the most sinister motherfucker in the world. But he also just genuinely like his affableness. It feels sinister, but it also doesn't feel fake. Like he actually is like, no, you guys, I'm your friend. Like, yes, I'm using you, and I set things up so other people will kill you if you don't do what you're supposed to do. But, like, I'm your buddy. Look, I healed you. I'm feeling really nice right now.
So we make it outside, and Karst and Agashio have completed handing a smackdown on Isaac and Ivan. And we run up and we tell them that we won't light the beacon for them unless they stop killing our friends. They say that they don't want to let Isaac live because he's such a threat, but we outnumber them by a lot. And even down 2 members of their party, Isaac was strong enough to kick their ass a bit. So they're hurting pretty bad. So they concede to let us go save Garrett and Mia as long as we take the Mars star from Isaac, and then we go with Karst and Agashio to the Eyrie and light the beacon. Isaac is like, Felix, I trust you. You probably have your reasons, and if I were able to speak last game, I would have just asked you about them. You can have the Mars star. Karst and Agashio are like, okay, cool. Let's go up to the Eyrie. Everything's above board. And Felix is like, you asked us to do everything that we want to do, and you asked nothing of us in return. There is obviously no catch here. And he follows them to the Eyrie. Piers is like, yeah, so this is a trap, right? I'm going to go with Felix so he doesn't die. Felix reaches the top, and he tosses the Jupiter star into the receptacle, and he lights the lighthouse. Felix is like, all right, cool. Thanks for letting us go. And Karst is like, no, we're going to betray you. And Felix is like, damn it, who could have seen this coming? Karst and Agashio tell us that they have no use for us anymore because the final lighthouse is in Prox. You know, the country to the north where the Mars clan is from. And they're from the Mars clan, so they don't need us anymore because they just stole the Mars star from you while we weren't looking. She says that it's time for us to die because we're not worth anything to her anymore. So we have a 2-on-2 battle with just Felix and Piers. But it's a scripted battle, and after every 2 turns, one of your parties shows up to help you finally kick their asses. You can fail this, and the scene is actually better if you fail, but I didn't fail. In the scene, Isaac and them are saved, and they come to scare everybody off, and it's a nice scene. This one is just like, oh, well, you kicked our butts, and bye. So, more specifically, Karsta's like, well, since you kicked our asses, you should kill us. But again, if you do kill us, imagine what will happen to your parents if you return to Prox with neither Saturos and Minardi nor us. Felix is ready to kill him anyways, but Alex shows up and is like, if they aren't bluffing, all of this will be for nothing. Do you really want to gamble with your parents' lives like that? Anyways, this was a distraction so I could heal them, and now we're going to leave you the elevator before Isaac shows up to kick our asses. As they leave, Isaac, Garrett, and Mia and Ivan show up to the area right as they leave, and Isaac is like, well, I've got a voice now, and I'm going to use it. What the fuck is going on? Actually, don't tell me now. Let's go back to Contigo so we can be more comfortable. The gang heads back to Contigo, and both sides spill the beans. Felix and company reveal what they've learned about the world decaying without alchemy, and their evidence that restoring alchemy is maybe a good idea. And they also reveal that Felix and Jenna's parents were also saved by Saturos and Minardi back in the day, and in fact, no one was killed by the boulder, so Isaac's dad is alive in Prox too. Isaac is like, but you could speak last game. Why didn't you tell us anything? And Kraden is like, well, y'all were level 5. You would have got your asses beat. You needed to go on your adventure first. And I have no reason why we didn't tell you at the end of the Venus Lighthouse when you were fully leveled up. At that moment, Hama, the master of the temple on Angar continent that we went to last game, she shows up and is like, oh, by the way, I'm from Contigo, and I've been waiting for this moment for a long time for the heroes of Contigo to show up. Come with me, we must hurry. The elements are all out of balance with only 3 lighthouses lit, and without the heat of the Mars star, Wayard will freeze over. And because my synergy is to read the future, I can tell that Karsta Nagashio will have trouble lighting the Mars lighthouse without you. So, come get your airship. Isaac's group and Felix's group all join each other's parties, and they make the gin menu suck real bad because now there's 56 plus gin, and you can only move them around by one using 4 or more button presses each time. But we do follow Hama down to our ship where she's given it wings, but the wings require us to use the hover synergy and the combined minds of 8 people using synergy to make it flow. So good thing we have our party with us now, because now we can fly a little bit.
It's so a little bit.
It can't fly over forests. It is so a little bit. But there's a scene that happens right after you get it that about Sheba, and she talks about her supposed prophecy that she's supposed to fulfill. But it kind of feels like it'll maybe come up next week. So I decided, I know I told you like 30 minutes ago that we were going to do it, but I think it makes more sense to put it next week. So this is where we'll stop now that we have a boat and 8 party members and we can go do a bunch of side content. We can go do that. But first, let's listen to some music and then talk about our memorable moments.
I'm going to start off the Mem Bombs with kind of a downer / party pooper / negative Nancy moment. Namely, I really don't like the Shaman Village.
Oh, I hate
just
it.
Because racist again? Golden Sun? Oh, here's this group of indigenous American coded characters, and they're going to they're gonna be really xenophobic of outsiders and really sexist, like in a way that most characters in this game are not sexist. That is just like it feels, that part especially hits me in a really annoying way, because it feels like such a, like, how often in media do we see like, oh, this primitive other culture, they're so misogynist and sexist.
Yeah.
Unlike us! Unlike our culture, which is totally not, we're enlightened and not sexist, and I'm just, no, fuck you, go to hell.
Yeah, this reminds me of that episode of Star Trek Next Gen that's also an episode of Stargate SG-1. Well, that's the same exact thing. I almost quoted Sam Carter when I got to that part and made Sheba say, well, I can do just as well even though my reproductive organs are on the inside and not on the outside. But I despise those episodes. All written by the same lady, and those are like her 2 out of 3 writing credits. She just really wanted to tell that story for some reason. And she also wrote for Golden Sun, apparently.
On the positive side, do you know who's my favorite villain in this game?
Who?
It's not Alex, though I do love him. It's Karst. I love Karst so much. At first I thought it was just her sprites, but no, the way she is written, I swear her dialogue, she has like Mean Girl energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has this casualness to the way she talks to you that makes me feel like she's gonna shove you against a locker.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm into it. I'm here for it. I'm really up for it. She's great. In general, like, between her and Alex, it's so fun how some of the tags in this game are just, like, sort of normal people into their dialogue sometimes, in very casual ways. I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah, it's real nice having, like, unambiguously bad people. They show up and you're like, oh, cool, you're the villains of this game. But they're not mustache twirlers. They don't feel grandiose in the slightest. It's just like, yeah, I'm a bad guy, but like I've had a long day and I'm just kind of not into the whole grandstanding thing right now.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, yeah. Also, it's very funny to me that they have that moment of like, listen, our home is dying because of what has happened. We have to light the Mars Lighthouse or else all of our people will die. And then once we do, we will take over the world. Like, that is truly the arc of that conversation. In the space between one sentence and another, flipping between we are victims and we will, if you don't help us, we are all going to die. But also, if you save us, we will conquer you. Like, honey, bad sales pitch.
Yeah. I love them so much. The villains in this game are great. Like,
they are.
I love the weird structure of this game so much. Like,
Same.
I think this week's boss fights are like boss fights number 4 and 5 out of this whole game. This game is just about going around and doing stuff more than about like conquering things, and it's neat. It's nice. I don't know. I'm really enjoying the just chill nature of it. Speaking of boss fights, though, so after I got my combined party, I went over to Yalom because I know that's where there's a log that you knock over with force, and now you get force because you got the other team. And so I went to do it, and I got the Moss Immune. And I'm like, this is awesome. I wonder what else I can find. Wasn't there something that I needed the other team for up in Treasure Island? So I go to Treasure Island, and I make it to the back, and I face the super boss there. And the super boss is meanly designed. It is not necessarily a fun RPG boss. The fun that I had with it was Groundhog Day fun. I was using save states like a motherfucker and being like, okay, can I survive this turn? I have to figure out a way to survive this turn, and did that until I beat it. But what he does is he starts the battle with 4 mooks next to him. They're little orbs, and the Thunder Orb casts Spark Plasma, the like level 4 one that Sheba has, will cast Spark Plasma every turn. Then you have the Guardian one, which will cast basically the Gen Flash, where it's the damage barrier that like cuts everything by 90%. Then you have the refresh one that heals him to full every turn. And then you have one called, I think it's the Anger Orb, and it does a kamikaze explosion every turn. So not only will you not be able to do any damage you do gets immediately healed. And so you have to like be fast enough to stop the healer one and the guardy one to be able to deal with them, so that then you can attack the boss. But if you ever miss and mess up, it gets healed to full, and the battle basically starts over. And it's mean and it's bad. But what I did is after you kill orbs, he'll summon a random one to replace it. So I did it until I had 4 of the lightning ones, so that I could then put up elemental resistance and try and stay alive enough to do it. And it took so many tries and like an hour of save scumming, and it was a whole lot of fun. But I don't recommend you go and do it unless you like to Groundhog Day your way with save states, because it's mean and not in a good way. If I was playing this game on console, I would give up like the second time. It's not worth it. But you get a kick-ass summon for doing it. It uses I think it uses 8 gen, so it's like double the strength of your highest level ones that you have so far, which rules.
That's a lot of gen.
That does sound hella awesome.
Yeah, it's probably going to trivialize the rest of the game, but there's 2 more super bosses I could go to if I want. I don't know if I'm going to, but yeah, I had looked up after my first attempt, and I got nowhere close. I looked up a strategy, and they were like, "Oh, switch all of these gen around to like make Felix and Isaac both ninjas, so they'll be fast, and then make Sheba be a necromancer, and make Jenna be just her level 1 job, because you've unassigned every single one of her things so she can do summons on the first turn." And there's so much little things like that. And I started it. Somebody had died because I didn't have enough to do the exact thing that they were saying. So somebody died. So I switched over to Felix, who now is a ninja and doesn't have his revive spell, and nobody could do anything I needed them to. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to engage that hard with the mechanics. I'm going to switch back. I'll use the summons. That'll be the mechanics I deal with. There's so much game in this game.
There's a lot of game in this game, yeah.
But it was a short section because last week was really long, and I didn't want a long section this time, and finishing the game would have been a long section. But anything else about these little vignettes we did this week?
No.
I got nothing.
Yeah, but we will be back next week. I highly doubt we'll do anything except beat the game. So that's where we'll be next week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations will help us offset the costs of running the show. If you donate $1 or more a month, you can be one of our gadabouts and get access to our bonus feed filled with after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show, such as Tales of Podcastia, The Escape Pod, and the JRPG Canon. If you up your donation to $5 or more each month, you can then become one of your warriors, and you can then become one of our warriors and get your name read at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Dragonslayer19, Freddie Rodriguez, and JFro Prime. And then if you really, really love us and you want to be one of our luminaries, you can donate $20 or more a month to get a short one-sentence shout-out or advert read at the end of each episode, kind of like this. Shoutouts to Kildronis, who says to check out Podcasters Assemble. It's a documentary-style, crowdsourced movie, hype, and rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. Shoutouts to Vimk, who says, nothing and nobody could change that now. And then shoutouts to It's Clear Time, who says, for you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game, I just think it's neat. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.